We're going to be doing something very different than what I thought we were doing last night at about 9 o'clock. So what I'd like to do is get a sense of why you're here, what's really frustrating you, and what question can I answer for you? Can I answer them today? And then what I'm going to do is invite you online, no cost, to come, and I will help you actually implement some of this, because what we do is very much hands-on coaching. If I give you a list, Mr. Schneider, and you go back to Hawaii, that list will probably stay in your inbox. But if I meet you online in a meeting, then you and I can make the changes. Okay? All right. So here we go, and we'll just go around the room, and so you're not surprised that it's your turn for the question. So we're going to start with you. You do. And there'll be no arguing, please. What, can you see?
Yeah.
You okay? Okay, you can see the screen. Okay, great. What's really bugging you about your email or your Outlook? And I'm assuming everyone's on Outlook. Can you just tell me if you aren't? Everybody's on Outlook? Okay, good. So you're in the right session. Okay.
I'm just here to see how I can save 60 minutes a day.
Okay. We can do that. Anything driving you nuts, or are you okay with what's happening in your inbox?
Just the stuff keeps piling up.
It keeps piling up. Okay. Person next to you. What do you want to know? Is it calendaring you want, tasking, email? What piece of it do you use mostly?
Calendar and emails.
Okay. Okay. And next to you?
All of it.
Do you use tasks?
Yeah.
Great. And the next person?
I use calendar and emails.
Okay. Anybody want to add to this list on either side of the line? I'm going to open it up.
I'm a Goldline graduate.
Okay.
And I'm missing everything that Goldline could do that Outlook can.
Okay.
Forms, integrated email, and templates that integrate with contact information.
Okay.
Everything coming back to the client, that client file.
Okay. Goldmine is a CMR, Customer Relations Management, for the people who don't know what Goldmine is. Okay. So I'm going to consider that when we're done in about 40 minutes, that's going to be good. Everybody's... Pardon? Message rules. Are they working for you or they aren't? You just want some info?
Well, I know how to use them. I mean, not everyone else does, but I could use a lot more.
Okay. All right.
I just bought an iPhone and it doesn't seem to be a good solution of running things together.
Okay. Okay. Is that good?
How about text shortcuts? 100 times a day I go, hello, please find it at blah, 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 blah. Click here.
Great. Okay. Last one, or will there be more? Good? Last time. That's it. Thank you for the advice, Mr. Schneider. Okay, so you will know that if you've been in a session with me before, this is very much customized to you. So I may give you different homework than I will give Mike Myers. So please, and he's smiling. I think I got his name wrong. So in this package, you will find some company information, and if you just sat in the session before, you will see something called testimonials over on the side. You may want to read that. When we work online or we work in person, I will give you checklists, handouts, things that you can refer back to. And if you keep them in that blue folder, I suspect you don't have too many blue folders in your office. We're going to talk about this card, but we're mostly going to use this piece of paper. So if you can have this piece of paper out front and center, that's really all you need. Okay. So we're at Mike,
Yes.
we've arrived at you because everybody else has answered, and you know that I'm going to ask you right away, what do you want to do with your 60 minutes that you're going to gain by using Outlook better?
Contact clients that I haven't talked to for a while. That's bad? Why is that bad?
We got 6 weeks left on the face of the earth, and you're going to call your clients? I don't think so. I'm not buying that for a minute. Okay, if you want to say that publicly, I'm okay with that. 6 weeks, he'll be one exhausted man. Okay. And you, would you like to second that motion, or you want to give us something else? You most certainly will. Anybody want to give me something else that you'd really like to do with 6 weeks, because you are losing an hour a day, which is 6 weeks. And I'll actually tell you right now, our stats are 90 minutes a day. That's the least that we've seen a client recently. Out of 3,000 clients in 10 years, that's quite a bit. So, do you want to change your answer, or would you still like to contact those clients? Oh, hell no. Okay. Okay. All right, you'll change your answer. Okay, good. So this card is for you to put whatever answer. You may want to be careful of how you phrase this in your office, but however you feel. Stick it to the side of your computer, because you're making choices moment by moment on Outlook, second by second. And I want you to be able to work on email and look out of the corner of your eye and go, you know what, I really do want to get home to my wife. I do want to spend that extra hour today with her. Whatever it is you want, you have to have a picture, a saying, a something right there that's going to change your behavior, because you've been in business, I'm guessing most of you, 20 years at least. Anybody want to say anything contrary to that? No? Okay. So you've developed these habits over a long period of time, and you want me to break them in less than 40 minutes. So you're going to have to do your piece of the work. You're going to have to put that little slip beside your computer. Oh, great. Somehow that's killed my computer. Dawn, could you help me? It does look terminal, doesn't it? Okay, so thanks, Dawn, for fixing that. While he's doing that, I want you to turn the page over to the back side. And if you've done this before, don't tell your neighbor the answer. And if you haven't, here we go. In the next 5 seconds, it's a competition, so get your pen ready. I want you to draw as many triangles as you can. On your mark, get set, go. Stop. Okay, so who has, count them up, who has more than 5? Okay, 6? 7? You're still in the running, 7, okay. Thanks, man, that's great. I'm suspecting you drew them like this. If you had drawn it this way, you could have done them a lot faster. This is what we're going to achieve by working together. We're just going to cut out the extra space, the extra wave. I'm not going to fundamentally change your job, whatever you do for a job. I'm only going to help you cut the little bits. And it can be pretty painful and pretty, the last speaker said she's tough. I'm tough too. So we're at the next fellow, and my question to you is, you only have 4 choices, whether it's a phone call, an email, a text message, a person. There are only 4 choices in social and business. The first one is tackle it. What does that mean to you? What does it mean when you get an email and I say I want you to tackle it? Yes, 3 minutes or less. Who has PVR? Few impatient people in this world, so you know 3 minutes is a long time. If you can do it in less than 3 minutes, it's tackle it. If not, it's task it. Who's using tasks on Outlook? One man, great. Okay, so you may take some of the things that we do today and customize them to your CRM. Okay, great. Toss it. Who's got a problem with, oh my gosh, I got to keep that for backup? Anybody? Everybody's okay to hit delete? No phobia. If I said right now, we're going to clear your inbox and we're just going to hit delete, you'd be okay with that? No. Okay, so toss it. All right. That's going to be hit delete or transfer it. Who transfers things within their company, passes on an email? Can you deal with this? Eric does. Okay, you all know that experience. Dawn, do you ever get to the point where you're like, who did I give that to? When did I need it back by? What's happening? Yeah, this is where tasks as a manager becomes really critical, because if Eric assigns me a task, it is on his list and it is on mine. And every single update or note I make to that task, he gets to see instantaneously. And if it goes past due on his, red, he knows I haven't done it. The minute I finish it, done, it takes it off his list. So all that time you spend with your people, give me the story, give me the update, where's the client? You can now read it in the body, and we're engaged in a conversation. How are we going to solve the problem? That's going to cut out a lot of time that you spend reporting or your staff reporting to you. Can you see that? Yes, no, yes. Okay, great. Should I use this clicker? What is the chance that...
That was your mistake.
I'm going to push this bottom button. First... Might want it. Okay, next thing, while he's fixing it again, I want you to put the pen in the other hand, the wrong hand. And I want you to write in nice grade 4 cursive letters your name. Your name. Thank you. You feel like you're 6 again. Interesting. Anybody want to add to this comment? I'm 6 again. I feel like I'm 6 again. Was it hard? Was it awkward? Okay. We're with you. How old do you think you were when you picked up a crayon? 1, probably. You're probably eating it and drawing on the walls. So you've had a long time to perfect your writing, but you also had formal training, grades 1 through 6. Now, how many years have you worked, approximately? 18. And you've perfected your work habits in a certain way, right? But how much training have you had for how you handle your Outlook, how you handle your email, how you use your calendar? 0. This is the class. But remember, it's going to be awkward. It's going to be painful. You might make some mistakes. It's not going to look great. But my guarantee to you is you will convert. If you put yourselves under the microscope, you will convert. And we're still working on Jack, because this is his 3rd time in this class. If you don't get it this time, man, you're out. Actually, he's one of my most enthusiastic supporters. I'm going to show you some concepts. Very quickly, I'm going to explain the theory why. If we have time, I will show you the technical behind it, but really I'd like to do the technical with you online. I want to answer your questions now. I want to expand your minds as to how this can really help you. So right now we are at you. When you open, you do or do not use Outlook?
Oh, I use Outlook for sure.
Okay. Does it open in your email or somewhere else?
It opens up with also my CRM.
Okay. It's integrated, but it opens with your email.
I have to open up my Outlook.
And when you open Outlook,
And then I open up my CRM.
and when you open Outlook, what page comes up?
My email.
Your email.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I just
Your email.
once in a while, my CRM is my calendar, and I can put the emails on there, whatever I want, but that's what I use a CRM.
Fair enough. My point is it opens in Outlook, or in email rather. Microsoft was very clever at getting us engaged in email, but they've done so to the point of our own detriment. That is a really bad practice. Who in their right mind stands on their doorstep waiting for US Post or Canada Post? No one. You'd never do that all day long, so why do you open in your email and sit there most of the day? Adrian Spitzer today, earlier in our central meeting, said, I want to drive my day. Well, driving your day does not mean following email. It means getting into your calendar right away. It means changing a bunch of the defaults. So we're going to do that. It's going to force you to behave differently, and I'd like you to think of email as new work. That is new work. So if you haven't got your legislated work, whatever you've already determined for that path for today, why go get new work? Thank you, Dawn. Okay. You may or may not know that you can click and drag from any area to any area. Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay. So if you have a meeting with me and it's scheduled in your calendar and you write some notes, do you then know how to take that email or that calendar invite, we're going to meet next week, same time, same station, and make a calendar event a week later and keep the notes that you captured from this meeting?
No.
That's critical as a business owner. Because if you're on a lead, if you're following up a project, I need to know before I sit down with Eric, what did we talk about last time? And I don't have a lot of time to update myself, so quickly read, add my notes. That's something that you're going to have to do. So if any of these things are coming to you, I really need that, write it down, because I'll make sure we cover it, and your session may be very different than your session. So if you want to know how to make your meetings more effective and follow up better, write that down. You may want to use color coding. Fairmont Hotels became one of our clients this year, and they have a lot of staff, as you know, they would have a lot of hotels. And we've across the board suggested that they adopt a system that is the same, because they have access to each other's calendars. So red means sales meeting. Doesn't matter whether it's yours. So across your company, if you're trying to figure out what your people are doing and you see this big block of red, you know that the sales are happening. My recommendation is you adopt color and that you do it in a way that's standardized across the company. Dawn. Tasks. Has anyone revealed that pane? This is 03, 07, and 2010 worked the same. Does anybody have that task pane revealed? That's your to-do list. That's what you're supposed to be looking at. So when you come in the morning, you're going to go, okay, where am I supposed to be and what do I have to get done today? What is my focus? And for you, Jack, you might recall this answer, in an 8-hour window, how much time do you have control over, really have control over?
I don't remember the answer, but not very much.
Not very much. So your answer would be? A little bit more. Depends how busy a manager you are. You may have between a half hour and 90 minutes. That is it. You do not have any more control because you have people calling you, you have staff asking you questions, critical issues. So you've got to pick the top about 60 minutes. What are you going to do with your 60 minutes in that day? That is what you need to focus on. So this is what's going to help you keep on track and keep your staff focused. Dawn. Tasking is instead of continually going back to your inbox, which I think you do. Yes, you do. Darren, do you do that? What's in my list? What do I have to answer? What's in here that I have to do?
I try to take a time 2 times in the day to check.
Good. So I want you to change your habit from checking inbox to doing your tasks. So right now, you have your mailbox on the side of your house. You take the mail in, you sort it, you put the junk mail. Do you ever scoop it back up and put it back in the mailbox?
I scoop it back up for my wife to go through.
Right. But you never put it back in that box. So we're not going to do that anymore. There'll be no opening and leaving it in the mailbox. Now you've opened it, you're going to make one of those 4 choices, and then if you have to do something with it later, you're going to make a task. The biggest thing you need to know, and I want you to write this down, this may be quite difficult from a dexterity standpoint, right click. And even your younger peers have trouble with this, right click, not left click, right click with the mouse button. And the reason is because you need to drag attachments. So I've said it 3 times, I've covered my behind from the legal aspect, have I not?
Very well.
Because things will go missing if you do not right click, but it also gives you a huge ability to offload your email, your Outlook, and download to your hard drives. So if you people are spending a lot of extra money on IT, geez, we need more memory, we need more room on our server, because Outlook's such a hog, this is going to be critical for you. Let's go on, Dawn, and then I think So that's tasking, and you'll see that the part circled says, keep an updated copy on my task list, send me a status report when the task was complete. That's that whole conversation Eric and I are having. Here's the task he's assigned me, now I've updated. Not only can I write the notes in there, so the story, I can keep the original emails, because they don't all come in on the same day for one project. I can attach them to that same task, but I can keep them in their original format. So in a he said, she said, I've got them as they came to me and I was unable to tamper with them. Fairly important. Dawn. We're going to remove reminders. So Colleen was saying on that live chat, it comes, so she's in the middle of a proposal and up comes live chat. Well, I suspect you're in the middle of work and whoop, up comes an email. That box flashes or you hear a bing. Okay, so we're going to do a question on this paper. I want you to go to this side and I want you to fill out question number 2. I want you to answer how many emails you receive a day, and we're going to ask Darren. Do you receive 20, 40, or 80? 80, circle 80. There you are. And do you figure you read them twice, 3, or 4 times?
The same email?
The same email.
Well, besides all the health challenges that they send me about all the problems that I have in my life that they can fix, those are read once or not at all.
Okay.
I would say twice.
Okay, circle twice. So that tells me right now you lose 80 minutes a day because you double read. So Darren, although he says he doesn't put stuff on the back in his mailbox and go through, he does in a virtual way.
Why do you have a choice of one?
Because unless you do religiously Ohio, which is it comes in and it's empty, and are you going to tell me right now your email is empty, your inbox?
Oh, you're talking to the wrong person.
Punching.
I'm the biggest probably challenge here.
Okay, let's have a little survey. Biggest challenge. I want to know who has over 3,000 emails in their inbox. Okay, 5. Now there'll be no jostling on the, gala tonight and pointing fingers. 10,000. 15. Say that a little louder.
How do you work with that?
How do you work?
I got more than 40.
Right. So we're going to clear that, and Eric, I'm going to save you the embarrassment. Hang on a minute.
I like my search function.
Search function is very powerful. However, as it grows, and I have seen in 9 years of business that the speed with which we do business has doubled. And I expect in the next 4 years it will double again. So you're receiving 80 right now. I suspect you'll receive 160 within the next 4 years. Holy man. A day. That's an awful lot. So we can't have 15,000 because, Eric, your search function eventually won't work.
Yeah, but that's when I take 6 months, throw it into an archive hole.
So are you telling me you need an hour, just you and I, nobody else in the class?
Yeah, I got 6 months worth, that's about 20,000.
Yep,
And then I've got 2.5 years worth archive.
right. We will spend less than an hour emptying your inbox, and it won't be just to hit delete. Control A, hit delete. No, it won't be any of that. The client I've seen has the most has double, 40,000. He was a computer guy and he just kept adding memory and more memory and more memory. There have become very large clients of ours, 5,000, 8,000 employee clients. They have now created a rule that you will have your inbox empty every 30 days, which means as of today, we are at the 20th. So October 20th, everything from September 20th goes. The 21st of October, everything from September 21st goes. It's a rolling 30 days. Gone. If you don't know how to file it in this company, it is gone. And they gave their people 3 months notice. You learn how to use this better. You learn how to file on this hard drive. And the reason they did it was because of some legal issues they had in the US. They couldn't follow the track of the emails. So they, in fact, abandoned a lawsuit. They just couldn't do it. That's why they've forced all their employees over to doing this differently. It's really big, costly business, so we'll book some time. Next, Dawn. Oh, the reminders. I didn't get to finish about the reminders, sorry. I want you to remove the reminders because every time it goes off, so in your case, 7 times 8, 5, 6, you're losing 10 minutes a day to bing, because your head goes to the email even if you don't go and look at it. So there's 10 minutes I've just recovered for you. We're going to turn off the reminder. Not for your calendar events, only for your email. You had a question, I'm sorry.
I just wondered, because I have in my inbox, it tells me I've got 978.
Right?
Right beneath that is another folder that says unread mail. They've had more than my inbox.
Mm-hmm.
So there's unread mail that's, or at least mail that's marked unread throughout my whole. So can I safely delete my, what says unread mail? Because I assume most of them aren't in my inbox.
Could I recommend that I say yes, but yes with you and I together doing it? My lawyer here is telling me don't just say yes. Don't just say yes. Okay, good. We'll go to the next one, and this is something that your eye is going to get accustomed to reading left to right. You'll notice that on the screen before, the reading pane was over to the right. And can we go there, Dawn? You'll notice it, sorry, back one. You'll notice it truncates the message. So in the subject line, if you want to get in front of your younger employees, start using the subject line as text. Really, send your message that way. And for the older users who have to use a BlackBerry, it comes in bold. That subject line is in bold. And for a person who's now just got some new glasses, it would be way better if it was in bold. It's far easier for me to read. So start using that subject line as texting, but you have to change the view pane to be able to see the majority of the message. I think we're just about done, Dawn. Where are we here on this list?
Do you like the reading pane then?
Yes, but in a different spot, at the bottom. It's helpful because you don't have to go to a different window. You don't have to press another key. It saves that instant, right? We're trying to cut out that little sliver of time.
Instead of one click, you're doing double click, so what?
It makes a difference.
I guess.
Just those little double clicks. Who has 2 screens? Okay. Who has a laptop and a desktop? Right, you have 2 screens. And in fact, you're wasting 20 minutes a day if you have 1 screen now, because you toggle between applications. So if you have a laptop and a desktop, we can make them work as one giant monitor. So if you have 2, but they're not working, could you write that down? And I'll help you with that. We'll just plug and play. Has anyone used this activities button? Yes, we have 1. Have you used it? Okay. Great. Right. Do you see where that circle says activities? Okay, you see right below that button that says activities? Right there? If you click on that activities button,
That's in the contact, okay.
it'll show every single communication your Outlook has had with hers from the beginning of when your email started talking to her, whether it's an email, calendar, task. So to Eric's point, if you want to search, this is a really dynamite way to search. And there is also that search function on BlackBerry. BlackBerry and Outlook really integrate well. You just need to know how to make them talk to each other. So I suggest you go with activities. Dawn, next one. That's the end of this. That's the end of the theory as in theory, because my expectation had been that we were going to do this hands-on, and none of us have computers. So that was the big change as of 9 o'clock last night. This will be very different. Okay, it will be different. We have a question.
I saw you had your folders there, and one thing that I noticed when I created folders, all my, basically it's like my archive folder, so my research, I get email and research, you know, a research folder, but the problem that happened is that now the email's not on my C drive, and now I can't see it anymore on my BlackBerry because it's been filed, and is there a way to get around that, or?
How many mailboxes do you have on your house? You got 1. So you go to the front door, you pull out the stuff, and you get walking in the door, right? That's it. You've pulled. If you start using rules, the downside is the equivalent of, if you use 5 rules, 5 mailboxes on your house. And in your case, if the listing is really long with different folders, it's like running around the house. First wall, second wall, third wall, fourth wall. There's just too much filing by rules if you need to see that stuff. Automatically, you can file newsletters, things you don't have to read right now. I do not recommend you file by client because your client is expecting to respond within 24 hours. And if you forget to go check their mailbox, now you've disappointed your client.
But you're talking about automatically moving it to a folder.
That's what he does.
Okay.
Well, I do it by.
Rules.
The only rule that it is just the email, it's the sender.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the subject matter or whatever, so if it's a research, I put it in there, so now I stopped doing that because I miss.
Bingo.
The thing I did now is just that in the morning, I'll go through my emails, I'll delete them, file them,
Yeah.
forward them, do whatever I want with them. And at night, I'll sit down, maybe sometime, and I'll just clean up my BlackBerry.
And there's a really quick way of cleaning up your BlackBerry. And yes, we're talking about automatic rules.
But it's not wrong to have folders
No.
that you physically move something
Good.
into.
Yes. Because you do have to check your mail. You do have to check your bank balance. You have to know what's going on. Maybe you have such a line of credit or overdraft, you don't, but I do. Let's double check that I answer all these questions now, and that'll probably be, unfortunately, the end of our time. It keeps piling up. We're going to use Ohio. It's going to quit piling up. But remember, you have at least 20 years, in your case, 18 years of habit. So it's going to take some time to change it, but I will help you change it. It's not impossible. And Colleen asked, no, somebody else asked today, Melissa, have you ever fired clients? And I have only fired 2 clients ever. And it's because they did not want to know, they did not know what they wanted to do with their time. So they just kept paying my bills, but they would not change their habit. So if you change your habit, I'm happy to help you. If you don't want to, then we'll get off the merry-go-round right at the beginning. So we're going to use Ohio religiously. Forms. Somebody asked about forms. Forms? Somebody said forms? Somebody? Okay, let me tell you about forms, what I think you're asking about forms. You want a scripted email coming up? Templates? Drafts. Use drafts. There's some keys to using drafts. So if you save an email that you haven't yet sent, it drops in your drafts. Right, good. So put some things in there that you send regular emails, Eric. Here's your proposal, thanks so much. And we can even do that on your BlackBerry. Zoom, 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 with the touch of 3 keys. On BlackBerry. You cannot do the same kind of quick keyboarding on Outlook. But my recommendation is you would just go to your drafts, you'd pull up that one, here's your proposal, mister, and slot in your information and it goes. Drafts are critical. I would suggest you start using them and you would get your admin staff to use them. Integrated email. Who asked him, what is that? Integrated email.
Well, that's the situation. My BlackBerry, my laptop, even though I use Outlook,
Mm-hmm.
I have junk mail, which blocks anybody coming in on my laptop. But on my BlackBerry, everything just keeps coming all the
Yes.
time. I thought these 2 things worked together.
This is a very interesting phenomenon, and Dawn, you can correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is your mailbox is there. Outlook goes by on a regular schedule and picks it up. BlackBerry is not on the same schedule. It toodles by later and gets it separately. So even though Outlook is deleting your junk mail that you've told it, BlackBerry has no rules. It doesn't know what to delete.
If you're using BlackBerry Exchange Server, it will take the junk mail addresses and not give them to your BlackBerry. But if you're using a third-party email service, yeah, you get everything in both.
Right.
It really depends on your settings for BlackBerry also.
Exactly.
If you did like mine, it's like auto sync. So if I delete it on my phone, it's deleted on the server automatically. It's just a setting.
So here's the short answer.
Yeah, but you're down in the States or you're down in South America, and there's a lot of junk mail that's coming in. I gotta stop my roaming on my BlackBerry because if I don't, it's like a $700 bill when I get back home.
Yes.
Because everything just keeps coming in here.
You can actually put permissions on your BlackBerry because I do the same thing. So you say, I only want to receive emails from so-and-so and so-and-so
can I add to that?
Who manages your mail? Like, who do you pay for that service?
This, Rogers.
No, like your actual email address.
Oh, it's belnet.ca.
Okay. You probably have less flexibility with those guys, but like, not that I'm promoting my services, but we provide mail for our clients because we host their websites. And so there's a whole bunch of software out there that comes with your hosting that allows you to write these little rules at the server level. So you can have just particular people put it into a certain spot and then pick it up with your BlackBerry, right? And then everything else gets ignored. So there's all kinds of different ways of getting around this sort of stuff. And the mailbox idea is if you think of email as in the mailbox, then a lot of times you'll be able to figure out a lot of these things aren't going. It's exactly the same way. We hold the mail in a box, and your Outlook comes up, picks it up, and deletes it from the box. BlackBerry comes up and looks at it and sticks it back in the box and goes away. And that's exactly what we do.
But you can do that in your Outlook. That's what I do. You set it up in your Outlook.
So can I go really broad on the answer here? You have a different server, you have a different provider, you have a different BlackBerry, and you have different needs. So those are all a very different combination that we could talk and discuss about for a long time. My recommendation would be pick Don's brain, and if he can help you, great. And if he can't, you and I will deal with your particular issue when we deal with your particular stuff. Okay. Link email to Goldmine. The short answer is salespeople like to sell. They don't like to fill out widgety little forms. I am a salesperson, so I'm speaking for the sales world, so I could be the only one who does not like to fill out little forms and things. So what our company has tried to do is strip down something that you know how to use on a regular basis, your Outlook, and make it work as a CRM. And no, it doesn't talk very well to other CRMs, and that's the short answer, and I can't solve that for you.
It's an add-on.
Yeah.
It's an add-on in your Outlook. You gotta download the add-on from
It's been an 8-year grieving process, but I'm almost over it.
You got to go one way or another, but we can deal with your particular issues specifically. iPhone, can I answer that from my perspective? iPhone is pretty great. It's very intuitive. You can learn it right now. It's easy to see. It's fast. It's sexy. It's all those great things. It doesn't integrate with Outlook. And the number one thing that Apple doesn't have that Microsoft has are tasks. Now, the flip side is BlackBerry is cumbersome to learn, but when you set those settings and you customize it to yourself in a way you cannot customize iPhone, and because your company most likely uses Outlook and they've provided you or you've provided yourselves with BlackBerry, that's the best business combination. So I feel your pain. The only guy I would suggest who might be able to possibly pull a magic rabbit out of the hat is your friend in the purple there, but I'm not even sure if he can help you. Yeah. So that's kind of the quick answer to those questions. Text and shortcutting, we talked about. Message rules. I would really recommend, I'm going to pass around a sheet. As I say, it's no charge. I'm not going to charge you for this because the expectation was very different than what we've arrived at. And I feel like I've disappointed you. I've certainly felt that this wasn't, our company used to teach like this, and now we teach hands-on all over the world, immediately, real time now. You've got your own keyboard, you've got your own mouse. It's amazing. And we will probably spend a maximum of 2 hours and you will recover your 60 minutes a day. So I'd like you to do the following 2 things. On the bottom of your homework page, yep, so flip it over, the one with all the lines. I'd like you right now to write down one specific thing that you heard today that you want to make sure I cover when we work together. Was it calendar? Was it texting? Was it drafting or drafts? What is it that you'd like me to help you do specifically? Because then we can customize it. And then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to hand around a piece of paper, and I'd like you to sign up as to whether you want help. Or if you have a business card, you can give me your business card, but we'll whiz a piece of paper around, and that'll probably be the low-tech solution here. Don. Yes.
Do you need an Outlook server, mail exchange server, to coordinate those all, or can Outlook just talk to another computer with Outlook on?
Our experience is it depends what version, it depends on a number of things. And that sounds like a wishy-washy answer. One of the things that we've found in Calgary is we are bleeding edge, which is a painful place for us to be, but we often have the answer sooner. And if you are, I'm coming to your answer, if you are going to switch to Outlook 2010 and you're considering operating system 07, please call me first, because your company will bleed a fair amount before the bugs are worked out. And if you add BlackBerry to that and you buy a bunch of new computers, there are so many combinations that are very complicated, and we've figured out some tricks. So the answer to your question is, can it work? We'll try it.
I have 2003.
It depends on all the variables. I'm sorry, sir, but when we get together online. Are there any other questions? No, there are no questions. Okay. Here, please sign the back if you'd like some help. I would like to propose that even though we don't pick a time right now, if you just put your name on the back, then I will send you an email and I will invite you. The last thing I'd like to do is a show of hands. It's always very helpful for me. I know you've got this piece of paper, but I would like to know the answer to the following question. If 5 is the best possible score, what would you give today's session? Would you give it a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, or 5? And we're going to do that right now. So would you give it a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4? Anybody going to raise their hand? Or a 5? A few 5s, a couple 4s. Okay. Any comments you'd like to make? Eric?
I've listened to you speak probably 4 times, and every time I've been able to save probably 60 minutes a month.
Yay! Nice going.
I'd like to make a comment too. Karen came out to Honolulu and did a training for my staff, multiple training. Made a world of difference.
Your staff were very receptive, Jack. Thank you. It was a great pleasure. And I don't have to go anywhere now to teach, but I do like to go to Honolulu or wherever else you people are. Good, I'm on a plane. We're finished a couple minutes early. Just as the paper goes around, we're going to start one from the other side if that's easy.